It is exactly 11:37. We're moving along on the mid-morning show. And our next guest is Camilla Knight Morake. She is an auxiliary worker a social auxiliary worker at Islamic Careline. And today we're going to be talking about parenting skills that make a difference. Um, Camilla Knight Morake, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program. Nice to have you here.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah for having me on air.
Nice to be talking with you again. So let's dive right in because we do have time constraints today. So, the all important question from your work at Islamic Careline: what are some of the most common parenting challenges you see families struggling with today?
Okay, so, since we do a lot of play therapy at Islamic Careline, we do see a lot of parents facing a lot of challenges with regards to parenting skills, especially in today's time with social media influence. We see a lot of children and teenagers with bullying, including peer pressure, also being exposed to violence. A lot of children also are struggling with broken family structures, including, older children who are probably like 18, 19, who aren't children anymore, but they'll be struggling with, maybe example, unemployment or depression or even stress. So those are the challenges that parents and children are literally struggling with because parents don't know how to handle those. And then this also just means that they need parenting sessions stronger than ever before.
So, obviously, healthy communication is highlighted as the foundation of strong parenting. What practical tools can we use to improve how parents communicate with their children?
Oh, that's such a important one. So there are core skills that parents should build and learn when it comes to children. And one of them, which is communication skills. And when we say communication skills, we mean the parents listening without interrupting. Also, the
Mm,
parents asking questions to the children to show that they are interested, to show that they are involved in their life. Another thing is validating a child's feelings. Children come and they complain and they tell their parents how they feel about something. Most of the time, they get dismissed because parents don't see it as a big deal. But according to the child in the development stage, you need to be able to validate the child's feelings so that they can see, so that they can feel heard, so that they can feel seen and protected, and that they can feel like they can go to their parents. So that's like one of the skills. And then also just like keeping calm when correcting behavior. That's very important skill. So when you're talking to a child or you're reprimanding them and you're communicating with them, not showing anger, being able to have your calmness as a parent when you're reprimanding or communicating with your child when they've done wrong.
I think a lot of parents do feel overwhelmed or even guilty when they make mistakes. How can parents practice self compassion while still striving to grow in their parenting?
That's such an important question. Remember that, first of all, the role and function of parents, that the parents are caregivers, they are teachers, they are role models, they guide, they discipline. So they do a lot. And self compassion is very, very important because parenting isn't about perfection. It's about being present, being consistent, and being supportive. And the goal is not to have your child just grow up, but it's also to build your child where they can feel seen, they can feel heard, and also be protected within their environment and guided. So, one of the most important compassion with regards to like parenting, parents having compassion towards themselves. It's also understanding that it's a test. This is a test from Allah, having your children. So sometimes you don't get all children the same. All children are different approaches. Ages are also different. So being able to also keep that into consideration with regards to your children, and also as a parent, just being able to understand that you try your best. And if you feel like you're not even coping and you feel negative about your parenting sessions or how you parent with regards to your child, you can seek out for help. You can go to a social worker, you can go to a school, you can go to counseling. We even offer that. We do offer it. So they are like help, ways to like help. But as I've said, it's not about being the perfect parent. It's about being consistent and present and supportive towards your children.
I guess just to be firm, fair, and also setting healthy boundaries. But in your experience, Camilla, how do you believe in emotional intelligence and regulation affects both the parents and the children in the home?
Okay. So first things is let's start with regards to the children. Children don't listen. Children mirror what they see. So when we talk about emotional regulation, how the parents regulate their emotions, the children see that. You show them how you handle your anger. You show them how you handle your stress and your disappointment. So they can see this emotional regulation. And most of the time, they copy exactly that when they are grown. So it's very important for parents. What they can do is basically trying their best to regulate their own emotions, whether that's taking a jog in the morning or sitting down, reading your salah when you're stressed. The children see that, and one day when they grow up, they think back on their parents' actions, and they mirror exactly that as parents as well, and as grown-ups, and they learn from what they see. So it's important that parents learn how to regulate their own emotions. Children will definitely mirror that. And then where there is emotional safety, where there is emotional regularity, that leads to less trauma. That leads to children not engaging in behavioral challenges or even having a low self-esteem, because children who are emotionally safe, whether it's at home, at school, they become more confident. They are open, and most important, they are regulated children. So they'll be less likely to engage in problematic behavior.
Okay, let's go for an ad break. When we come back, we'll continue this very important discussion with Camilla Knight Morake. She is a social auxiliary worker at Islamic Careline. We're talking parenting skills that make a difference.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042 203 1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
The chaos and destruction in the Gaza Strip is beyond comprehension. Virtually everyone is displaced, hungry, and in urgent need of life-saving humanitarian support. The Al-Imdad Foundation has been working tirelessly to address the health, nutrition, and water needs of the population. Our hospital, water deliveries, and hot meal programs are made possible with your support. Your donation, big or small, is a lifeline for those in dire need. Help Gaza survive. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic, Sharia, and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. A full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
Kids these days are smart, and when you're competing for their attention against their smartphones, you need to make smart choices, like using Sunfoil triple refined pure sunflower oil in every meal you make. It's naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether you're cooking, frying, or baking, you get the great tasting results that'll get their attention faster than the latest app. And if that doesn't work, change the Wi-Fi password. Sunfoil. Now we're cooking.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Welcome back. We're talking parenting skills that make a difference. Our guest is Camilla Morake. She is an auxiliary worker, a social auxiliary worker with Islamic Careline. Assalamu alaikum to you once again, Camilla, and let's move along then. Technology, I think the moment I say technology and social media, everybody raises their eyebrows, but we do know they are major stresses in family life today. What advice can you offer parents on creating healthy digital boundaries without creating conflict?
Okay, so that's such an important one. As first of all, safe online behavior. And when we say safe online behavior, it's teaching our children as well. Because sometimes parents think that their children are big enough, they'll be able to handle themselves, but sometimes they tend to bully others or they are being bullied. So safe online behavior, being able to monitor your child's behavior online. Also limiting stuff that they should be exposed to. So as a parent, being able to say that, no, you can't maybe be on Instagram. I want you probably on Instagram when you're older. Monitoring also who they interact with. That's very important so that you know exactly who's in your child's life. Social media is such a dangerous platform and a good platform at the same time, depending on how you use it. Sometimes you may be thinking that a child may be thinking that they're speaking to someone just to find out that it's actually someone else on the other side of the light, pretending to be someone, which can be very dangerous. Teaching your children not to basically also share information, with regards to maybe like your home address or important information. Teaching your children how to stay safe. Because, you get lots of weird people outside. So it's a lot with regards to teaching your children what boundaries not to cross, where they are allowed. So a lot of being present, also just monitoring what they're doing online.
Camilla, let's look at the role that cultural and religious context plays in shaping parenting approaches, especially in a community-focused organization like Islamic Careline.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so first of all, in Islamic Careline, we always tend to tell parents that remember that it's an amanat, that you have these children. Allah has entrusted you with these children. So it's very important that you understand as parents that this is actually a trust from Allah. And that being said, also as parents, being able to provide the child with their basic needs. And when we say basic needs, I mean food, shelter, clothing, health, these are all your obligations as parents. And when we are done with explaining that, it's very important that we explore the different types of parenting, because there's 4 different types of parenting. And lots of people don't understand that. So in Islam, we always try to look back on what the Prophet has taught us as well. So at Islamic Careline, we do understand that there's an authoritative parenting, which is a parent that's quite balanced and firm. And this aligns to the Sunnah, because Prophet Muhammad ﷺ guided with compassion, explained the rules, and most importantly, corrected gently. And he did so with wisdom rather than fear. So we teach always parents that, you know what, it's important that you have this kind of parenting skill, basically, to teach your children and to guide your children going forward. Because we've seen and it is proven that if you have this type of parenting skill, children tend to be emotionally stable, they tend to be confident, good at making decisions, and they are less likely to engage in risky behavior or even like give in to peer pressure. And that means that there are characteristics that goes with this. That means that as a parent, teaching with patience, we know that sometimes children are totally different. When you teach one, they tend to understand immediately. When you teach the other, it takes longer. Just being able to understand your child, teaching them with patience, respectful communication as a parent, and the children should be able to mirror that back, and teaching your children also how to respect you as a parent. So it's very important for that. And then we also tend to look at, like I've said, like the different parenting skills and styles that parents tend to have. We got a second parenting style that we look at. And this one is the strict parent, the fearful parent, the one that is harsh, little communication. It's do as I say parent. They punish over teaching. And in the parent's point of view, they think that they are teaching. This style is totally not good. Because the reason we say it's not good is because it's rather emotional abuse. It leads to humiliation. And as a parent, you have so much control that you think that you are teaching your child right. But unfortunately, you are just commanding that child so much that the child is just doing, as you're saying, out of fear. So these children, when they grow up, they tend to have a short-term obedience, but long-term, they are emotionally harmed. And remember that as parents, that you are guiding these children to become parents one day as well. You're leading them out to the world. So you need to be able to parent these children right, so that when they go out, they tend to do a good job based on what they've learned at home.
Okay, we need to wrap up now. So let's talk about the other very important factor, and that is co-parenting, whether it's between married partners, separated partners, or even extended family. And we know that this can become very complicated. What strategies will help to maintain consistency and cooperation in these situations?
Okay. So first of all is understanding that when you're co-parenting or even a blended family, the main important thing is communication. Being able to communicate clearly with understanding. Both parents should be able to communicate with each other with understanding. And both parents should be able to also let the boundaries be known. Because sometimes we get a lot within our field that, a parent feel like you're supposed to know this, whereas the other parent feels like, but in my household, this is not what we practice. So it's important to be able to communicate, have boundaries to what parents should be able to say, like, from our side, we won't be able to do A, B, C, and C, D, for example, and the other parent should be able to understand. Most important also, understanding and seeing where you can cross a bridge to get to that line, but most importantly, for the sake of the children. So it's very important that people should remember that the most important thing is for the sake of the children. So you're not doing it for yourself or because, they are your ex-partner, but it's basically for the purpose that those children are well raised. And also just understanding blended family in total, because people tend to think like we have a lot of cases where blended families come in and maybe they feel like they're not connecting. It's very important to understand that it actually takes 4 to 7 years for a blended family to actually feel like a family. So it's years of practice. And yes, years of practice and understanding each other and trying to be there for each other. And it will grow over the years, and just having sabr as well. That's very important. And making lots of dua and, keeping Allah at the center and understanding exactly that you chose this partner. It's not going to come with ease, especially if they come with a family and you come with a family. It doesn't come with ease. But through maybe help, you guys can cross over that bridge. So yes, those are like the things that we see within our cases as well.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah so much for the very sound advice. Camilla Knight Morake, who is a social auxiliary worker with Islamic Careline. And of course, we were talking to her about parenting skills this morning. Jazakallah so much. And to all at Islamic Careline, continue doing the amazing work, and Allah accept from one and all. Assalamu alaikum.
Ameen. Walaikum salam.
Breaking stereotypes.